Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Carl, a member of the CK12 team, and we're coming to you live from the world headquarters of the CK12 Foundation here in beautiful Palo Alto, California. My colleague Lindsay and I will be running today's webinar, Getting Started with FlexBooks in the 2.0 platform. We're so glad that you've joined us today and are participating in our CK12 Certified Educator Program.
Yes, thank you to everyone who has joined us today, and welcome to day 2 of the live sessions for the Certified Educator Program. We have built this program for educators who want to go deeper with CK12 and really become experts at using our platform to make teaching easier and to truly personalize the learning experience for students. We're going to do a few program reminders. This is probably one of the last sessions we're going to do this because we know starting tomorrow, a lot of you guys have already joined us and you don't want to hear this information repeatedly. So hang with me just one more time here as we review the program requirements. When you want to become CK12 certified, you need to watch 2 mandatory on-demand sessions. So the first session is ready to go. It is in our program FlexBook. We launched that on Monday, July 1st. So if you have not watched the 5 parts videos, they're 5 short videos as part of that session, please make that a priority because there really is some good information in there that talks about the Certified Educator Program and also helps you get more comfortable in navigating CK12. The second on-demand session called Beyond the CK12 Certified Educator Program will be available by the conclusion of the live sessions on July 19th. You guys will all have until July 31st to watch the on-demand sessions and complete the live sessions and turn in all of your assignments. So you should be joining us for at least 5 live sessions. You will need to complete the accompanying assignments to go with all sessions. A question we have been getting is whether you need to complete every assignment that you see in the book. And just know that we released all of the assignments for all of the live sessions. And so you only need to do the assignments that apply to the live sessions that you guys have attended. At the end of the program, we're going to ask you to complete a final form requesting your certificate and your letter of completion. And at that point, we will verify your attendance. We will verify that you completed your assignments, and you will become CK12 certified. I'm hoping that you guys have all had a chance to join our program class and find our FlexBook. If you're still needing to do that, from the CK12 homepage, you can select classes in the top menu. And then you would join our class using this join code that's presented on the screen. We've sent that to you in a few different emails now. After you join the CEP class, you can click on the Shared Resources menu option to find the program's FlexBook 2.0. Once you've accessed that, you can go to our on-demand session, or today after attending this session, you'll be looking for the Getting Started with FlexBooks section, and you're going to complete the mandatory assignment by going to what's in that CK12 quiz module. Our system calls it a quiz. We're calling it an assignment because there shouldn't be anything tricky. In fact, we even list every question that we're going to ask you in that quiz right there on the lesson page. So if you scroll down on any of our program pages, you'll see every question we're going to ask you. We want you to be comfortable with all those questions before you start the quiz, because kind of one limitation of our quiz system right now is that you have to do it in one sitting. You can't stop the quiz, and it will time out on you if you think on an answer for too long. So make sure you're prepared, and then when you're ready to submit your answers, go ahead and press Start Quiz. To make sure that we get the results of the assignment that you're doing in our quiz module, you need to get to the screen that has the Turn In button. So you will exit out of the report and you will press this teal, the teal bar that says Turn In. You will click that and it will turn light green, and note that you've turned it in. If you need to check your progress on assignments, you can see that under Reports in the class option. You can see your percentage and the date that you turned in the assignment. So you can check yourself to make sure all is going well. Just one statement, there've been a few people saying, hey, I think your system counted me incorrect for something I believe is correct. And unfortunately, that's going to happen on occasion because we're trying out a new open response question type for this program. So we're still kind of beta testing it. And if our system counts you incorrect for something that you are sure you got correct, just move forward. We're looking for reasonable quiz scores. We do not need perfection. It is okay if you do not get 100%. If you have a very, very, very low score because you need to rewatch the session, you can always turn it in again, that quiz. But in general, if you're in the 80, 90% range, we're going to be okay with that, and we can always open up your individual responses if we're curious to see how you've been answering any questions. Okay, the fun part. Carl, this is my favorite part of the webinar, is when we go live and we get to see everybody who's attending from all around the world. The chat window, you guys are already doing a great job with that. That's where you will give us some information about yourself if you'd like. Have a community conversation. Share where you teach and what you do. The Q&A window is where we need you to type questions for the team. So if you need something answered during the demo, Carl's going to stop occasionally to answer questions, and we have Katie and Star here typing answers to your questions as well. In the chat window, please just make sure that you're sending messages to all panelists and attendees so everybody can see what you're typing. Otherwise, it just comes to the CK12 team and everybody's missing out. So all panelists and attendees in that chat window. Last thing is, like all of our sessions, we have a resource page. You can view that at the tiny URL listed on the screen, or that link is in your FlexBook as it is with all of our sessions. You can print these handouts out, you can download them, or you can ignore it and just know that it's there if you ever feel like accessing it. Okay, I think that's all my introductory stuff. I'm going to let you take it away, Carl.
Well, this is so exciting. I want to give a big shout out to so many people from not only across the United States and back east right now in Maine, but even over in Nigeria where it's almost midnight, and I saw Chile was there, and even it's the future. It's 8 a.m. in the morning in Australia right now where some people have joined us. So wherever you are in the world, we welcome you because this is exciting. We will be learning all about the CK12 platform. So let's go ahead and find out what we're doing today. The first thing we're going to be looking at is maximizing learning with the CK12 platform, offering interactive, integrated, and insightful functionality enabling a student's personalized journey. Next, we'll talk about choosing a FlexBook, where you'll see how to start with a FlexBook 2.0 created by CK12 or even another user. You'll also see how to start with a blank 2.0 and start making your own content. After that, we'll cover using and customizing a FlexBook 2.0. You'll learn how to make the best FlexBook 2.0 for your students in the correct order and with the richest content. Finally, we'll show you how to publish and share a FlexBook 2.0 to help out other educators and students around the world. Our main goal is that by the end of this session, you can come away with a better understanding of CK12's flagship product, the FlexBook 2.0 platform. So I'm so happy that so many of you have joined us, and we are going to get right into our exciting products. Over 12 years ago, CK12 changed the world with the introduction of the digital textbook called a FlexBook. Remember that back then, most classrooms didn't have computers for each student. Maybe a school had a computer lab, but that wasn't really available every day. So back then, people came to CK12, they chose a FlexBook, and sometimes they customized it, and then they printed it. The original FlexBooks were lessons, and sometimes they had videos in them. But of course, when you print it, the videos didn't play. As more and more classrooms had access to computers, more people started using digital versions of our FlexBooks and some of the other digital modalities we created to help students learn. In September 2018, we reimagined our resources and unified them into the FlexBook 2.0 platform. We use the word platform now because what we offer is so much more than a textbook. It's a personalized learning system that adapts to the needs and skills of each student. We did this by bringing the best of CK12 content into each lesson. No longer do students and teachers have to search all over the website for the best content. The FlexBook 2.0 platform is your one-stop shopping for the best content and learning experience for your students. This means that the lessons in the 2.0 platform can have videos, interactives, and easy to access curated related modalities and resources, and of course our groundbreaking adaptive practice. With a simplified and focused interface, students can access the content and further the learning process. Lessons can offer inline questions to check for understanding and also give students feedback on the answers as they're learning. Now we even offer insights to help improve student learning for each student. Rather than just hearing from me about the platform, one of our teachers, Will Sappenfield, is going to share his experience to give you a first-hand testimonial about the 2.0 platform. Take it away, Will.
Hello, my name is Will Sappenfield. I'm a CK-12 certified educator here in the great state of Oregon. We've got plenty of liquid sunshine for you. I switched to CK-12's FlexBook 2.0 because everything was organized for me and the lesson just flowed. Previously, I was going from one item like manipulatives and practice in different spots and trying to link it all together. But in the 2.0, we were able to work through examples, do some activity-based learning. Then there would be a manipulative like the Plex right within the lesson. A little video there for some extra understanding. I love that because students that are absent have that direct instruction right within the video. So 2.0, pulling it all together, has been a great way to make my life easier and the students' learning more streamlined.
Thanks, Will. So you'll see that the FlexBook 2.0 platform improves our original FlexBooks using the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning to enable a student's personalized journey. Each lesson can be a powerful mix of content, including interactives, adaptive practice, videos, and so much more. Additionally, your students' performance is summarized and offered as teacher insights. Imagine harnessing the power of digital to help improve your students' learning. That's what the FlexBook 2.0 platform does. Finally, this August, we will be offering a PDF option for the FlexBook 2.0 lessons. Of course, all of our platform's digital intelligence can't be captured into a PDF. That's why having your students access digitally is always the best option. So it's time to see a FlexBook 2.0 platform live in action. I'll show you how to access the new FlexBooks and experience the improved interface, including teacher insights. We'll also see how each lesson's adaptive practice can be a great solution to provide personalized learning for your students. So I'm going to go ahead and steal the screen from Lindsay, and let's go live to the CK12 website. So when you first arrive, I want to get you now to the 2.0 platform. So click on the Explore button, and you're going to see the first thing listed there is FlexBook 2.0. So once we're there, you're going to see a little explanation of exactly what 2.0 offers and why it's so much better than our original FlexBooks. And then you're going to find our newest books in the FlexBook 2.0 platform. So I'm going to click here on Math 8. And of course, we offer a variety of content in 2.0, and plus our users have developed it. So we'll be showing you how to find all of that. But let's take this one as an example first. You can see here, this is the table of contents, and it shows you all the units that we've got here. And let's go to linear equations, for example. And there's all the lessons inside of that unit or chapter. You'll also see up here you have access to a teacher edition, which has been written by the curriculum developers to help with a pacing guide and other activities for implementing CK12. So I'm going to go back here, and let's go to the second lesson here called Understanding Linear Equations. When we arrive there, we're going to be at the Start page, and this is where learning begins. Of course, before the students start the lesson, they might want to check out one of our other ways to learn we call related modalities. But for most students, they're just going to click the big start button and enter into the lesson. Up here, you can see it's asking me, do I want to assign this to my students? And that is an option. You'll notice that I can assign it currently to a class in CK12, but I also have the option of assigning it to a Google class that I've already set up in Google Classroom. Later this summer, we will also be offering that you can use FlexBook 2.0 with Schoology and with Canvas. And we just had a webinar today, and you can go find that on YouTube, that talks about this integration with both of those LMSs. So let's go back to the lesson now. Here we are. So understanding linear equations is the name of the lesson. And as you come through here, you'll see that not only does it have the text, and it starts with a real application of this, but almost immediately we have an interactive. And then besides the interactive, so we can come here and we can begin using that interactive and seeing how different things change. But then there's follow-up questions down here, and they help me understand, did I get all the learning that I was needed from this? So we can check it, try it again. But the really nice thing is that it gives you feedback on wrong answers. So sometimes it'll tell you, no, you did the left side instead of the right side, etc. So it's a way to give each student personalized feedback with the use of the CK12 platform. As we're coming down here, you can see there's more interactives and more inline questions based on this problem here. So it's a really rich lesson involving a lot of interactivity. Other features that are available are our highlighting tool here, and where you can come and we can find out an equation is a statement that two expressions are equal. Okay, and I can highlight that, and I can even change the color of that. We've seen teachers go and they have their students go learn how to do this. And the good news is that maybe they'll learn to kind of interpret academic texts more easily. So I'm going to go down now and show you another feature of all of our lessons in CK12 is that you can select a new language. So I'm going to select here Spanish. And then you'll notice here that everything is beautifully translated into Spanish using the Google Translate feature. And all of the Google languages are represented. And I speak Spanish, and I can attest to the last 3 years especially, the translations have gotten amazing, and they are really useful. I've seen it where the students will have their mobile phone and be looking at the book in their home language on their mobile phone while using their Chromebook in English to be kind of reinforcing that English academic language. So there's lots of ways to use this. I'll be giving more kind of teaching techniques when I run a session on Friday morning at 9 o'clock, where you'll be getting a lot of teaching strategies on using CK12. Another idea here is you can share with your parents who happen to speak a language that is not English. This gives them access to the curriculum that you're covering in your class. So we've done that. Let's go now to, let's go back to English. How about that? Empezamos en inglés porque no entiendo ni una palabra en español. Here we go. There we are. All right, we're back in English. I wanted to show you our toolbar off to the side here. And this is where you're going to find related content. So for example, other ways of learning the same content in this lesson. If that's not good enough for what you found here, we offer other things. Of course, all the notes and highlights that I've made appear here in a single list, which is great if you want to use this to study for a quiz or have the students study for a quiz. Currently, none of the students' highlights are actually shared with the teachers. Possibly we'll work on that down the road, but right now it's just in the students' version of the book. Another really exciting thing that we have here is brand new, as the sign says, the Teacher Insights. And so we can go here and we can go choose an assignment that the students have done, and we can see how they've done on it. So let's go up here to Ryan, and we found out that Ryan spent 6 minutes and 36 seconds on this lesson, and he actually, by practicing using the practice at the bottom, he got it to the mastery level. And this is Joel here, and Joel spent 11 minutes and 17 seconds and is only at the exploring level. So this really helps me understand. Now, my friend here, Bryce, is a good example. He spent 7 seconds on the lesson and then tried the practice, and he didn't quite master it. But maybe after only spending 7 seconds on the lesson, I might have a conversation with Bryce saying he needs to maybe do a little bit more with it. So this is the example of this exciting new feature called Insights that we think will really help you teachers to use the CK12 platform and the power of everything that we're seeing when your students are using it. And this is truly the intelligence that we are beginning to share with you in order to improve students' learning and offer a unique pathway. Remember that with this practice onto the side here, when they do adaptive practice, it chooses questions based on their performance. And this is where personalized learning becomes real. So if there's a follow-up session, if you didn't see the adaptive practice one this morning, you'll go ahead and watch it again. Getting started with adaptive practice will teach you all about our adaptive practice. So I'll go back out here to the FlexBook. And once again, like I said, we've got our teacher edition here, and you can add this to your library. When you find a book that you like, you can assign it to your class, and we'll talk about some of these other things in a little bit. But why don't we pause there, Lindsay, and let's find out if anybody has any questions so far.
Well, of course, there were lots of questions. There's also lots of exciting things going on in the chat window. So I'm seeing lots of people getting excited about the insights, being able to see how long a student spent on a lesson. But several of the questions were surrounding the read aloud. That was probably the most popular question that you got during your session when you were showing highlighting and annotating of, do we do anything with the audio read aloud feature? So what are your suggestions for people who are looking to do that with our books?
Sure. One of the great things, because everybody accesses CK12 via a browser, and we work on any device, whether it's a mobile phone or a tablet or an iPad or a Chromebook or a desktop, it's always through a browser by going to ck12.org. But because of that, for example, we suggest you use the Chrome browser. We're optimized for Chrome. But because you're working in the Chrome browser environment, you can download additional like add-ons, extensions that offer additional features using the browser. So one of them that you can download is one that will read things on the page to you to help students with vision issues. So, you know, it is something that we don't offer through the website, but the good news is that can happen through the additional extensions that are available for the Google Chrome browser.
Several questions relating to the changing the language button. A few people missed it. Can you show them again where they can go on our site to use the translation feature?
Sure. At the bottom of any of our pages in our FlexBooks and a lot of our other modality pages, you're going to find this menu here. And you can pick out any of the Google languages there. I hear the Mandarin's quite good, and the one language that I've heard isn't very good is the Arabic language, unfortunately. And I think Google uses a lot of usage feedback. So the more we use it in Arabic, the smarter it's going to become. And even to the point where they've got some languages like Malagasy, which happens to be the language of Madagascar. So you can really reach a lot of your students and parents with using these features.
Okay, then one maybe back to basics question here. If you can go from our homepage and show again how you access this FlexBook, and then a little more about what subjects we currently have available on 2.0.
Sure. So here under the Explore button from the homepage, you're going to see FlexBook 2.0. And then when you get down there, you're going to see our current math and science offerings. So for math, we have Math 8. We also have Math 6 and 7 coming this month in July. We're very excited that Math 7 should be launching in the next few days. And then by the end of the month, you'll be getting Math 6. And these are all the latest books, meaning they have interactives and inline questions. And they've really put a lot of work writing these books from the ground up. These are not just pieced together books. Then in high school, we've got Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. And if you're doing an integrated math series, it is really easy to pull the topics from these 3 books and put them into whatever order you need them in. So if you're doing integrated math, and I know that we have one of our previous CEs that are actually doing this. He works in Riverside, and he's doing this right now and is super excited that he hopes by the end of the summer, he'll have put together some interactive books for us. In science, we've got earth science, life science, and physical science for middle school, and then biology, chemistry, and physics. So that shows you the overview there.
So I probably jumped ahead because I think our next section is called Choosing a FlexBook 2.0. So I'm going to share my keynote, and Carl's going to review a little bit more of this. And I know there's a couple of other questions of what about some other subjects? What about health? So we will start addressing that as far as where to start with CK12 content.
So to get started, the first important step is picking the right FlexBook 2.0. We've worked hard to make this process easier for you. So once again, we've brought everything all into one place instead of making you search all over for it. We offer 3 different ways to get started with the FlexBook 2.0 platform. The best way is to start with an existing CK12 FlexBook 2.0. These books and lessons have been written specifically for the 2.0 platform and take advantage of the latest learning technologies. The best way to see our core 2.0 offerings is to go to ck12.org/flexbooks. Here you'll find our latest middle school and high school math and science books. Users have also created FlexBooks 2.0. While most of these books are variations of the CK12 FlexBooks, some are newly created content in areas beyond math and science. In a moment, we'll use the CK12 search bar with a FlexBook 2.0 filter to find these books created by our users. Finally, you can create a blank FlexBook 2.0 and add in your own content or get content from other FlexBook 1.0 or 2.0 lessons on CK12. And I know somebody asked that in the chat window earlier to wondering how to add content in. So we'll take a look at that. So let's go back live now to the site, and I'll show you some of this up close and personal. So here we are back at the site, and once again, I'm going to show you from the main web page. You come here, explore FlexBook 2.0, and then go to the bottom, and you can start with any of these. And once you find a book like the physical science, I can add that to my library, and it will show up here when I click My Library. There it is right there. So we've talked already about CK12 books, so let's go back to the home page and find out how to find other books, maybe made by other users. So let's say I'm a world history teacher. I'm going to go type world history. And of course, it's going to find history things and other things, but what I really want to find is only FlexBook 2.0s. So you'll notice here under categories, we have a filter, not for FlexBooks, but FlexBook 2.0, and that's what I want to choose. And they're offering me a physics books and a physical science book, not exactly world history, but what I want to show you is under the community contributed tab. And yes, these are tabs at the top that you can click. This is going to show you world history FlexBook 2.0. So let's say there's, we can look at all these here. There we've got the US history book right there. Let's go ahead and look at that. So there's the FlexBook, and I'm like, wow, this is exactly what I need. I can't believe that those fine people in El Paso, Texas have put all this work together, and I could really use this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll look at it a little bit later. I'll add it to my library. So it's that simple to find books that other CK12 people have put together. But the key thing, like I said, is you've got to make sure that you do the filter under categories of FlexBook 2.0, okay? So, and then click on Community Contributed. Finally, one of the ways that you can also start is with a blank book. So I'm gonna go up here to my library by clicking the Library button. And I'm gonna do Create New, and you'll see my option is Original FlexBook or FlexBook 2.0. And you know, in order to take advantage of all those great teacher insights, we're encouraging everybody to migrate over to the brand new platform that is really kind of cutting edge technology. So let's go say I'm going to do Carl's. I teach a really good underwater basket weaving. Basket weaving. Basket weaving, 2 words? Could be. Let's try that. All right, underwater basket weaving. All right, so there's my book. And I'm going to start putting content in for my underwater basket weaving course. And it's that simple. So I can go now to other places on CK12. For example, I can go back to my library and pull content from that other book that I had. So let's go back to the history book, for example, and maybe we had some historical comments on that. And let's go get this section here. And I can add, for example, this lesson to my book by choosing the toolbar and add to a FlexBook 2.0. And there's Carl's underwater basket weaving lesson. There it is. And it added that lesson to that book there. So we have a bunch of different ways that you can get started with FlexBook 2.0.
If I can jump in real quick, this is going to be discussed in more detail. If some of you folks are not math and science teachers, you might be interested in our community contributed and non-STEM session that we're running later this week and next week, because we'll go into more detail about kind of starting maybe from that blank state or using things that other users have already created. So again, we'll walk you through a blank FlexBook in more detail. But Carl, a question that people have been asking is some of our folks are original FlexBook users, and they want to know when should they continue to use their original FlexBooks and when should they start converting over to FlexBooks 2.0?
Well, the answer is never. You should not continue with your original FlexBooks. You should be using FlexBook 2.0 to really take advantage of everything that we're offering then. You gain so much to improve your teaching and to help students learn. If you have any content from original FlexBook that you'd like to use, you can simply add it to a new FlexBook 2.0, and you'll be able to take advantage of all these new features. To summarize, you get an intelligent learning platform offering teacher insights, interactive lessons, simplified interface, integrated adaptive practice, curated modalities, and coming soon, even a PDF option. So, Lindsay, encourage everyone to come on into the FlexBook 2.0. Our users integrate CK12's platform into their teaching in a variety of ways, and let's see what some of these are. You can use CK12 as your core curriculum or as supplemental. Some schools use a FlexBook 2.0 and then individually assign lessons and the associated practice, or specifically created set of questions that we call a quiz. It's their core curriculum, and the CK12 platform works well to help deliver great content and offer personalized learning for all their students. Finally, you can choose to customize a FlexBook 2.0 to create the best possible content for your students. Other schools use a core curriculum other than CK12, but still supplement that curriculum with a companion FlexBook 2.0. Of course, any of the CK12 modalities can still be assigned individually. While CK12 FlexBook 2.0 can be used as is with no changes, the best possible content comes when you customize a FlexBook 2.0 to exactly meet the needs of your students. You'll be amazed that this is easier than you think, and the results are great. One of the reasons to customize is that you can end up with a book that exactly matches your scope and sequence. Students and parents can easily see where the class is progressing through the book. No more jumping around to get to the next lesson. Another benefit of customizing is you can improve lessons with your own content. Add in your own activities. Let's say you flipped your classroom and made short videos that the students watch as homework. You can include these right in your lesson. And you can also include other things that you find, links to articles, etc., all as part of your lesson. So imagine a FlexBook could also collect content from the teachers at your school or district for them to add into. Offering localized content has long engaged students, and it's easy to include with FlexBook 2.0. The publishers are not writing content for your city. And a great example of this is that our friends in Tullahoma, Tennessee, have put together some really nice history books and social studies books. And in the state of Tennessee, they have a standard about the Grand Ole Opry. And so they have to teach it. And so for the first time ever, Tullahoma is using a textbook with their students that has content about the Grand Ole Opry that their teachers developed and then put on CK12 to share it. And that now is being used all over the state of Tennessee because Tullahoma shared it with everybody. Finally, one of the best ways to customize your FlexBook is to include student work that becomes part of the curriculum. Imagine having instructional videos made by students and taking the best in video and putting it in as part of the lesson for future students. This is really powerful because it's by students and for students. And we'll talk about more ideas like this in my upcoming teaching strategy session this Friday at 9 a.m. California time. Next, I'll be doing a demonstration of customizing a FlexBook 2.0. I'll show you how to rename the books, reorder the scope and sequence, edit a lesson, and add in some additional content. So once again, I'm going to take away the screen from Lindsay, and let's go do this. So this time I'm going to navigate over to the FlexBook 2.0 platform, and I'm going to choose the interactive physics book. So there she is. Now, I really hope that all of you take the next step once you've kind of become informed about CK12, because it's not hard. Watch as I do this here. All I have to do is take this book, the interactive physics book, for example, and click customize. And let's say I give it a new name. It's Carl's High School. Oh, it's already there. High School Physics FlexBook 2.0. I love that. And I click save. And that's all there is to it. I now have my own personalized high school physics book that I can share with my students. And the really cool thing is I just take the URL up above and I can post it on my LMS. I can share it with my parents, and that is my book. But of course, it doesn't have to stop there. Remember, I talked about changing the scope and sequence. So I'm going to come back down here, and it's edit. And it's going to take me into the environment where I can move things around. So I can move chapters. Let's say I start physics with some really amazing sound stuff. So I want to cover sound first. So I can grab here the rearrange tool, and I can move things around. Conservation laws, thermal physics. I don't do thermal physics, so I'm going to remove that. And let's move optics up, because that's another one that students with sound. It's a great way to start my physics class. So not only can you rearrange the chapters, but you can also rearrange the lessons inside the chapter. So let's say we're going to come here and we're going to do mirrors. So let's put mirrors first, plain mirrors. We're going to start there. Okay. So you can see we can do a lot of different edits to the scope, the sequence of it, but I can even go into the exact lesson, and you can learn more about editing a lesson with our advanced FlexBook editing. But I'm going to show you what the editing environment looks like. And you can see it looks a lot like a Google Doc or a Word, and you have a lot of the same buttons, including a math editor. You can insert images. You can even insert media like pictures and other things. PhET simulations, Google slide presentations. You can put anything inside of our lessons here. And you can see these are pretty outstanding lessons, including here, there's a Plix Interactive embedded in it. So you've got a lot of options here, and literally changing, let's say, for example, I want to get rid of that picture, and I want to just welcome my students at Carl's High School. We have, and then I can type some personalization, type in a real world thing that talks about the mirror that's in the main hallway, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and save that then, and we call that finalize. And then there's my lesson. And you can see I've modified it. So you can begin to change each individual lesson, change any word in there, any picture, etc. So the idea here is that you can go and really make this lesson match exactly what you're doing in class. And as I mentioned before, it's pretty easy to add in other content from other FlexBooks or lessons here. So why don't I go up, sorry. Let's go back to my library. Oh, there it was at the top. There we go, library. And let's go to this book, the history book. Why not? And let's grab a lesson from there. Progressivism, which in physics probably you would never use, but there you go. And we're going to go ahead and add this in to FlexBook 2.0. And we'll add it into my new physics book that I just made. So it's that easy to get content from other CK12 books, whether they're FlexBook 1.0, the original FlexBook, or 2.0. Or you can add in your own content. So you can add in new lessons, new chapters that are just blank, and they get you started. So we've seen just the beginning of what it takes to customize a book. And you can see I've had schools in 2 hours customize a book for their students to use. And it exactly matches their scope and sequence. So Lindsay, I'm not sure if there's any more questions, but usually at this point there might be one or two.
We do have a couple of questions. Why don't you go back to kind of a table of contents to the scope and sequence area. One question was, what happens when you move things around to the, this question said quizzes, but possibly the adaptive practice that is attached as well. So does everything come with it when you're editing the scope and
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty here, is that these are kind of like containers or modules that have all this great stuff put together on it. So when I move average acceleration up here, that lesson has all the related modalities and the practice coming with it. Absolutely.
Okay, several questions were about the embed feature. So maybe if you want to go into one of those lessons and show them again where to find the embed feature. We have somebody asking about, can I embed GeoGebra files and can I embed Google Slides into my presentation?
The answer is yes, you can embed all of that. Let's go here to, there it is right here. So let's go like here. So if I want to embed, insert, or edit media, and I just paste in the embed code right there. And I don't know if you're familiar, but many sites now offer embed code. And we'll go to our friends at the YouTube Corporation and get this great video on Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello. And I don't know what this is, but there you go. So I want to share with you, we don't want to play it, and share. And you get the embed code from right here. They kind of hide it somewhere. Did I pass it already? Embed, first one.
I don't know. The teacher in me was just terrified that you just went to YouTube and randomly selected a video. Good educators would always preview before they would go to YouTube.
Oh, we're all adults here, I think. So we're going to copy that embed code, and we're going to put it back in this lesson here. And then I click preview, and lo and behold, my friend Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello singing Señorita. There it is. And now I can, I can finalize the draft, and we'll be able to see that video right in the middle. So you can embed anything, whether it's a PhET simulation or a GeoGebra activity. You can embed anything right there. And the good news is legally, you can embed anything, because that content is not stored on the thing. So if you're using the embed code that's been provided by somebody else for this purpose, you can put it in your CK12 book.
There's a bit of a conversation happening in chat about the ability for, some districts block YouTube. We have worked with a lot of districts who've whitelisted CK12 for YouTube specifically. So you might inquire with your school or district about that, where they can allow any video that's coming from a CK12, the CK12 platform to play, even if YouTube is blocked in general in your building. So you might ask about that. Carl, a couple more questions were about, I think when you were showing how to add content from one book to another book, a few users were still a little unclear on that process. And again, this is going to be part of the advanced FlexBook editing session. If you have an original FlexBook that you want to put into a 2.0, or also on that subject of embedding, Katie's going to show a lot of that tomorrow in the advanced FlexBook editing, some of the more advanced tools. But in general, maybe how easy it was to get one section into another?
Sure. So here we are back in the physical science book, and there's this great lesson that I've always wanted on metals. And so I go into the lesson, and you'll see down here is an add to FlexBook option. I'm just going to click on that, and then you choose which FlexBook you want to add it to. And let's give that one to my underwater basket weaving course. All right.
Okay, so that's going to bring us to our final section here, talking about publishing and sharing the FlexBook. So once you have found one, maybe you've done some customization, some localization, how do you get it into the hands of your students and parents and other districts, everybody involved? So here we go with publishing and sharing a FlexBook 2.0.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my physics book. Carl, there it was. This is my physics book. Am I not sharing? Oh, I'm not, sorry. I'm on the wrong page. Yeah, so before we get there, I want to point out that we are publishing our FlexBook. You simply go under the Choose menu on the title page, on the table of contents, and choose Publish. And by publishing, students and educators can find your FlexBook 2.0 using the CK12 search bar. And this is really important because it helps further the mission of CK12, and it helps other people not have to reinvent the wheel. You've already done the foundational work. It's kind of like when our friends in Tullahoma shared their Grand Ole Opry book, and they shared it with everybody in the state, and anybody could use it. All right, you can also share using the URL. The only thing I'm going to warn you about is don't include the revision number. So sometimes right after saving, you're going to see a revision number. So when you're choosing to share your book with other people, just make sure you don't grab that, and they'll always be accessing your most recent version. In addition, I suggest you go use a URL shortener like tinyURL, and this allows you to come up with a really easy to remember kind of URL that can be used to access your book. And you can also create a QR code that makes it really simple for people to find your book using their smartphone. Please, once you've created that URL, share it with people. Send it to the teachers at your school and other teachers in your district. And specifically send it to like your district TOSA or a kind of coach, like a math coach or a science coach. And then tweet it out and share it on Facebook. And remember, when sharing, we really appreciate a shout out. Give us some love at CK12 Foundation, hashtag CK12 certified. And then also I suggest you do hashtag OER or Go Open, because these are both great places where lots of people are sharing content they've created on OER platforms like CK12. Finally, add your FlexBook that you've created to the schools page. And if you don't have one, email support and they can set it up. It's a great way to share with others. Most pages also have a green Shareoplane to share a single resource with Google Classroom, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Note, this simply shares it, but it doesn't assign it to your students. If you want to assign it, you have to go to a different workflow in order to get that assigned either on CK12 or on Google Classroom. Finally, I want to have you continue talking about everything you've learned today. A lot of you have posted comments like, oh, this is so exciting, can we keep talking about it? Yes, there's a way to do that. And that's at our cafe discussion forum by going to www.ck12.org/forums. And specifically there, we have a Jumpstart for Educators place where you can continue the conversation and you can get advice from others. We also have math and science corners. And I really want to show you a quick kind of look into this just to make sure you can find it. From the homepage, you're going to go to the Explore and you're going to go down here to Cafe. So it's one of the features that we offer under the Explore. And then once you're in the CK12 Cafe, you're going to find here Jumpstart for Educators. And I'm going to go ahead and enter that forum. And you're going to find conversations started by our users and then answered often mostly by our users. And it's really a great place to share information. I was noticing down here earlier today, there was a great one about what's the best thing that you like on CK12. And I think that's a wonderful example of what things are happening here and people meet each other. So I encourage you, after you're done today, go introduce yourself on the educator forum and begin conversations. Ask your peers questions about CK12. Of course, if you do have any specific questions about the actual platform, feel free to email support@ck12.org, and we'll specifically answer your kind of technical question. All right.
Why don't we pause there for just a moment, answer a couple of questions. There were a few that came in about how is this all possible with our copyright license. So do you want to tell them a little bit about that, please?
Sure. So we use the Creative Commons license called Buy and See, which means give us credit and don't sell it. And often you'll see that listed as BYNC. And I'll just go to the Creative Commons site just so you can see that there. And this is a copyright, but it is a copyright that allows you to use our material, to copy and redistribute it in any medium, and you can adapt it, okay? As long as you give us attribution, give us credit, and non-commercials, don't sell it. So using these restrictions, under those terms, you can use the CK12 material and you can adapt it to best meet your needs.
So the follow-up question to that just came into Q&A is, can portions of workbooks be added to the FlexBook?
Ah, yes. So here's where I need you to put on your lawyer cap just a little bit, because intellectual property is really important. And if somebody has thought of something and then written it down somewhere and then sold it, that's probably a good indicator they don't want you just putting it for free in a book that you're sharing with your students in the world. So yes, things from a workbook that you didn't create are usually under some kind of copyright, and the publisher of that book makes their living and feeds their children based on the money they receive. So you're not allowed to put copywritten material that is not a Creative Commons license. So you have to think about, yes, you might have that favorite Pearson worksheet that you've used for years, but in the world of OER, open educational resources, we need you to think about either recreating that as your own thing, but not taking the stuff directly from them. So we encourage that to be what guides you there.
With CK12 workbooks, which is the question that just came in, anything that's on our site, when you share something on our site, you're being asked these copyright questions of, are you the owner? Do you have the right to share this? And of course, anything with the CK12 label on it has been curated or written or vetted by us. So that is all absolutely fair game to combine into FlexBooks. I'm going to go back to the keynote here for a second, and we're going to start doing a little bit of wrap-up information. I think, Carl, kind of in summary today, you've covered quite a bit.
Great. Well, before I go, I just want to make sure that we all understand that the FlexBook 2.0 platform is kind of the best way for you to proceed forward here. So we've given you an overview. We've now moved from FlexBooks, from linear digital textbooks, into an intelligent learning platform. At the heart of the platform is artificial intelligence and machine learning, which offers a personalized journey for each student. Everything now is all in one lesson. No more searching around the whole CK12 website. All the content has been specifically curated for each lesson in that course. And the best part is the FlexBook 2.0 platform can be accessed from any device using a browser pointing to ck12.org. So that means your cell phone, your smartphone rather, your tablet, any of those things are the way forward for you.
Okay, as we approach the hour mark, as you guys are probably finding out if you've joined us for several webinars now, we usually try to wrap up all of our core content by that hour mark, and then those of you who need to go are able to do so, and those of you who still have questions, we stay on and answer them. So now is the time to continue to populate that Q&A area, because we're going to do one more round of that as soon as I just show you a few final things here. Did want to remind you about this resource page the tinyurl.com CK12 FlexBooks 2019 is where you can find it quickly in the browse window, or this is also in our FlexBook for the program. But some things that Carl covered today about our intelligence system, about teacher insights, you know, some helpful hints, some links that you might want to reference later. You can print this, you could save it to your desktop. Just know that it's there for you. And so if you are doing several sessions with the idea that you want to become a CK12 certified educator, you do need to do the matching assignments. So we suggest that you do that while the information is all fresh, hopefully in the next, you know, few days. But what you need to do is you need to go to the program book and find the section that says Getting Started with FlexBooks in the 2.0 platform. I would take a second and I would review that whole page, because below the screenshot here where it says session description and July 2019 sessions, we're going to list every question that you're asked in your assignment. So you guys want to preview all of those questions before you go into our quiz module and submit your answers to us, okay? Because remember that you do have to do that in one sitting. The system will time out if you have a long gap in between answers. So just make sure that you're ready to submit your answers, and then once you take the quiz, you will have the button at the end that says turn in, and you will have to turn it in, and that's what spits out to our system that you have submitted your quiz, and you can go into reports and you can confirm on your end that that has been submitted. Two additional things is we have this YouTube playlist on YouTube. We've linked it to every page of our program book, or you're welcome to follow us on YouTube. We're the CK12 Foundation, and you can be notified every time we post a new video on there. But we will record every video session and post every one within 24 hours. And then the feedback form. It's been really helpful. Thank you for any of you who've already taken the time to submit the short survey. You're welcome to do so after every session you attend, because I know every session is a little bit different. We want to know what went well and what we could do better. So if you have a minute, this link is always in the program book. At any time, you can give us feedback on any session, or this is the same link for all feedback. It's the tinyurl.com CK12 feedback 2019. So thank you for helping us get better at this by giving us feedback. Carl mentioned it earlier, but we are on all the socials. Our team is actively checking, probably Twitter's the main one that we're checking quite a bit, with the hashtag CK12 certified. So, I mean, you guys are the ones doing the hard work right now. You're taking time out of likely summer for those of you in our hemisphere, taking time out of your break and doing some professional learning. So please let everybody know that. You should be proud. Do the hashtag CK12 certified. Let them know that you are trying to learn and grow as an educator. For any questions that you have, send a jumpstart at ck12.org. Our team is on top of it, and we will get you answers to any questions that you have. So, like I said, I think we're about at the hour mark. So if you need to get off of this webinar, you're welcome to do so. But we are now going to stay on. And Carl, I'm going to kick it back over to you to see what's going on in Q&A.
Sure. So we've got a great question here asking, do we provide trainings to districts? And I think, you know, the goal with our CEP program is that we're training you, and then hopefully you can be the ones, because we're 35 people in Palo Alto, California. So unfortunately, we don't have the ability to go out to each and every district like my friends at Pearson and McGraw-Hill do, because they're making millions of dollars. And in fact, how much CK12 is making from your district is $0. So when they're making millions of dollars, it's easy for them to spend $3,000 to send a team out and train you. So we really encourage you to go and finish your certification here. And then we're always happy to do a webinar or something like that that we can set up with your district if you assemble those people, where it's less touch, where we don't have to fly ourselves there and kind of emulate what the publishers have done for many years. Other questions? We're cleared out. Okay. So I think that's it, folks. So we are finishing here. We encourage you to join us tomorrow morning for Advanced FlexBook. Don't forget, we are going to be really showing you how to go in depth with our customization. All right, folks, from us here in Palo Alto, we wish you a very good rest of the day.